Worst Christmas ever. That is how I feel. So in Buddy Daddies episode 10, Miri's mother returns to take Miri home. Seemingly, Miri's mother has turned her life around since being fired. She clearly currently doesn't have a drinking problem, but she does have cancer. We don't know if that means it's 3 months, a year, 5 years. All we know is that she has clearly turned her life around and truly misses her daughter. The unfortunate thing for both Kazuki and Rei is they have two big dilemmas hanging over their head. One, they don't have a legal ground to stand on, as if we remember, they literally forged identification in order to get her into daycare. It's not like they properly adopted her or anything. Yes, the mother tossed her away, but legally, the authorities would side with her if it came to that. And two, we know Rei's father has been putting very big warnings, and our boy Q finally has said, I was the one who revealed where you were to the mother, because ultimately she will get killed if you don't do something. It's either betray the organization or die. And man, this was not a fun episode to watch. The best way to explain it is it felt like a band-aid being peeled off ever so slow, and by the time the ending of the episode hit, you realized it wasn't a band-aid, it was duct tape. Duct tape on the hairiest part of your arm, slowly ripping it off, and at this point we need therapy to get through it. Now, if you want to see my full heartbreak in real time, head on over to the Patreon and consider supporting. Full live reaction available over there, and this was definitely one of the most depressing episodes I think I've seen. Because rather than it being like a character dying, or these very objectively people get why it's so depressing, this was one of those moments that pretty much immediately from the beginning, you knew what to expect. As soon as the mother was there, you knew, or at least that's how I felt, that the mother was here to take her back. And immediately I'm trying to come up with these ideas of how it could work out. And the fact that the best hope we have right now is that she dies of cancer, it is so bad to say that out loud, but that is literally our best hope right now. Now I'm going to make a comparison that no one will make about this episode besides me, but all I ask is you hear me out with the full thing. Now, I recently saw Scream 6, right? I like the Scream movies. It's my favorite horror franchise. And in that movie, there's these kills that take a lot longer than what you're typically expecting with the franchise or horror movies in general. The best way I can explain it is it's almost like you know what's going to happen, and without going into specifics, it's the train sequence, the subway train. Anyone who's seen the movie knows what I'm talking about. But basically, you're waiting for the kill. You're waiting for the big moment to drop, but it keeps you sizzling for like 10 minutes or an hour is what it feels like. And that's the exact same feeling I have with Buddy Daddies episode 10. Now, obviously, it's two very different things, but when you look at this episode, it kept you sizzling the damn near the whole episode, knowing the mother was going to take her away at some point. She may leave tonight, but she's coming back the next day. And if we have to go the authorities route, not only is their job dangerous and potentially going to get her killed, they legally didn't adopt her. So it is just horrible. And like, the worst case scenario would be that the authorities investigate how she treated her and she gets put up for like a foster care. Like, it just, there's no winning in this moment. And by keeping the viewer sizzling, just you're on the edge of your seat. You're waiting for it to happen, and it takes like 15 minutes to get to that heartbreaking goodbye scene. See you tomorrow. You ain't seeing us tomorrow. You can't say that to me. It hurts so much. The fact that it just is such an effective episode, and with just a handful of episodes left to go, where do we go? Where do we go? Now, some of the ideas I had originally was I was like, okay, maybe Kazuki can date this girl and we can have this weird situation where things work out. Honestly, the best outcome in my opinion was that she moved in with them. We already have the Buddy Daddy's name. People thought like, oh, we're Rei and Kazuki gonna be in a romantic relationship prior to this anime starting. So it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for the show to have the real mother live there and have her not romantically involved with any of them. I mean, it could work out. But the fact that it just, if we remove the job aspect, there's so much more that we can fight. But as it stands, all we can do is go kill Rei's father. I mean, it sounds bad, but really, other than betraying the organization and going to have a normal life, how in the hell are we going to deal with this? I don't know. I can't even blame our boy for giving up their location and whereabouts to the mother, because he's been getting warnings for weeks or months. I forget how long it's actually been, but it's been a bit. And the fact that one of them, potentially all of them, at least the girl was going to die if he didn't step in. I mean, it's not like it was something he wanted to do, but there's people higher than him and he has to listen if he values his own life. All I can expect with this show going forward is that most likely the betrayal of the organization, escaping, getting our freedom, and the mother dying is probably the direction they want to go. But in terms of leaving the viewer off feeling heartbroken, devastated, and just the fact that they gave her that one final day of brilliance, I mean, it hurt. It really, really did. It's not something that I'm actually bawling my eyes out, but it's that type of sadness where you know something's happening. And it's kind of like death in a way, right? Everyone knows they're gonna die someday, but if you woke up tomorrow and the Grim Reaper was actually standing there and he's like, hey, you gotta go. And then you say, nah, bro, I'm not going today. He's like, okay. But then you kept seeing him every day after that. You know damn well it's happening. And then death really starts to frighten you beyond belief because like, what are we supposed to do at that point, right? It's just such an incredibly directed episode and easily the best Buddy Daddies episode. I don't even think that's up for debate. It was effective at what it did rather than just bringing her in with a bottle in her hand or her having no thanks. She was legit thankful that these men took care of her in her time of stupidity. And the fact that she legit felt sympathetic but also was blunt enough that you understood that she wasn't a pushover in the sense of like, you guys have a dangerous job. It's no wonder she wants to spend her final months, years with her daughter. And the fact that for Miri, I mean, she loves her, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And how do you bring up the fact that you killed her biological father in episode 1? She's too young to understand it. It is not good. It's not good whatsoever. But I mean, in terms of getting us invested in the endgame, I don't think there was a more effective crushing heart blow than what they just did. And the fact that for a lot of this episode, Ray was the emotional strong support because not only did he have such a shitty upbringing, he's pretty much numb to a lot of things. The fact that without him being there for Kazuki would have been a bawling mess the entire episode. Back when the first episode of Buddy Daddies dropped, I claimed it to be one of the strongest first episodes of this anime season. And I remember I had a good handful of people say, I like it, but that's too strong of an opinion, which, hey, fine. Different opinions, different strokes for different blokes. But very quickly, after you get past that 3-episode rule that some people follow, this show turned into something special. And as it stands, with 10 episodes, we haven't even finished it. The remaining episodes could trip and fall and be a fumbling mess. As it stands, I can safely say this is hands down one of the best shows. Sequels, carryovers, brand new ideas, throw them all in one pile. I'm making a top 5. This is hands down in that top 5 of the season. And honestly, it's gonna be one of the best shows of the year. I'm even gonna throw that out. People are gonna disagree, I know for sure, but if you ask me come next year, like if I still feel that strongly about Buddy Daddies, I would be shocked if I said no, but that's just my feelings. What did everyone think, and what do you expect the end game to look like? Obviously I said my feelings, but I'd love to know because there's a lot of possibilities, I think, so I'd love to read them down below. Remember to drop a like if you enjoyed, and hey, subscribe if you're new around here. Also be sure to ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload on the channel, and of course, as I mentioned, full uncut thoughts over on the Patreon, and it's definitely depressing over there, but good stuff nonetheless. Also, you can get a video shout out. So today we have Davlin, Eric Barton, Jessica Compton, Zeshram, and Didrik Svahn. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.